Right now at 8:30, we are sitting here with Charlie O'Hara. He is in the studio to answer any and all of your legal questions. You can get on the phone right now, 316-436-1212. Again, that's 436-1212. Charlie, thanks for coming in today.
Good to be here.
Appreciate it a lot. It does sound like, did we maybe get a caller on the line just now? Oh, okay, no calls. So if you have a question, get on the line right now. Again, 436-1212. But Charlie, you were mentioning a subject kind of in line with the elections with our judges in our community. Talk to us a little about, you said, retention.
Well, there's two ways judges are, the judges are put in office in Kansas. The local judges, the district court judges, for instance, in Wichita, are elected. The judges in other parts of the state are appointed, and then they have a retention election. And one of the things that was kind of controversial this time was there was a big movement to have some of the Supreme Court of Kansas judges not retained. And what that means is you either vote yes or no for them. You don't vote for another candidate or anything like that. And so you would vote yes, they should stay in office, or no, they should not stay in office. And there was a big push for that. And in fact, it was relatively close. Most of the time, those elections are pretty one-sided towards yes. This time, I think it was quite close. But they were both retained that were up in the Supreme Court. And of course, that'll come up again. And then that also applies to the appellate court judges, which would be the Kansas Court of Appeals. We actually have three kinds of judges that are state judges. Actually, we have four. We have magistrates, district court judges, Kansas Court of Appeals judges, and Supreme Court justices. And the Supreme Court justices are the two that there's a lot of controversy about, I think, coming from the Carr decision. So that was being done yesterday, but they both stayed in office.
Okay. And was that something that people would normally be used to seeing on a ballot? I guess I have not voted that many times, so that was kind of a new experience for me looking at my ballot yesterday. But is that something that everybody would encounter, you know, every, I guess, 2 to 4 years?
Yes, it's usually up. And but I don't think there's usually a lot of controversy about it.
Okay.
And of course, the problem with being a judge is you swear to follow the law, and sometimes the law and the way it's interpreted, for instance, by the United States Supreme Court that you have to follow, or by the 10th Circuit you have to follow, is not something that's popular with all the people. So it really puts some of these justices and judges in problems.
Okay. It does sound like we do have a call, so let's get to the phones right now. Caller, what's your question for Charlie?
Yes, I was wondering how long it takes to...
Go ahead.
Okay, I was wondering how long does it take to for a parent to be absent from a child where they have no more rights?
Well, it actually kind of depends on the circumstances. There are some presumptions that come if you don't have any contact, and then you get into whether it's substantial contact or just a little bit of contact, whether you're supporting your child, what went on with the child, as far as whether the child was taken care of by somebody and what people said and what people did. So it really depends on each circumstance, as do most things in the law. The problem with the law is we don't usually have a bright line rule that says if you do this, you do that. Or for instance, it all kind of depends on the circumstances and how things go on, especially with the child and parents and divorces and custody. All those really are very fact specific. And they depend on a lot of factors that the judge has to take into account.
And what kind of attorney would handle that sort of case and advise someone on that situation?
Well, I think most attorneys will. It's in the juvenile court system usually. Here in Kansas where that comes up. It could probably come up in the domestic area too, which would be the divorces and custody. But usually it'd be in juvenile court where someone's trying to take the child, either the state is or another party coming in to take the child. But it would depend on a lot of factors. A lot of factors going on in that instance.
Okay. Well, Charlie, thank you so much for coming in. That's all the time we have for today. But again, if you have a question, give us a call next week, and we'll be right back with more Eyewitness News in just a couple minutes.